try to get some content put up on the channel and give everybody an update. I want to appreciate everybody to subscribe to the channel. I mean, for the amount of videos I put up, the amount of subscribers, I mean, I'm thankful and grateful. Oh, check out, this is Bass Cat. He's based like, crack cocaine. Bass Cat. He's awesome. Don't let the grin fool you though. I've been trying to get the live stream over on Twitch set up, but the category thing, it's not letting me switch the categories over there. It's like a technical thing. I'm trying to get it switched from chat to tarot, and until I get the category thing switched, sorted out, everything else is set up. Avery at Selling Dreams is doing live streaming on Twitch, and he's trying to get everybody from the YouTube community to come over to Twitch. Trying to get away from YouTube a bit, but everybody here subscribe to this channel. I appreciate it, and I want to give some updates on the books. As I've said before, I have an editor, and they're going to be professionally editing books and preparing the file formats for the print and the digital copies. And anybody who's bought the books, whether digital or print, just has to email me at caldwellmark279@gmail, CALDWELLMARK279@gmail, and just show me, your digital or your print, and I'll make sure that you get a second edition. Each book, 1 through 6, are getting updates, and the updates for book 1 and 2 are already done. 13 pages added to book 1. A reviewer and a customer who bought the books wanted me to complete the full invocation, banishing the lesser ritual of the pentagram, supreme ritual of the pentagram, lesser and supreme of the hexagram. That way, they would have them to do. I had only put in portions because there were just examples for if you could incorporate it into your own ritual to basically show examples, because the first book is about the language, and it's not technically a grimoire, but for to make it more complete, I have completed those. So 13 pages were added to book 1. Book 2, the actual grimoire, the flame grimoire, 31 pages have been added. There's more invocations. There's more a lot more detail. I mean, 30 or 31 pages of information. Book 3, it's on the computer right here. Now I'm going through it and doing page editing. It shows only 4 additional pages have been added to book 3, but that's not the whole truth, because there were probably 7 pages that had, a dozen lines, left, so you have like a couple large paragraphs, 2 or 3 large paragraphs, and then you have the space at the bottom of the page. Well, about 7 or 8 of these pages are completely they're solid from top to bottom. So it's more like 10 or 11 pages, conservatively 10 or 11 pages have been added to book 3. And then I'll be moving on to book 4. And like I said, I have a professional editor who I've made arrangements with. They're going to format, and they're going to do the hyperlinks within the text for the digital copies, and they're going to do all those details that editors do to make a book really appear professional in its proper place, and apply those technical skills that they have. And then I will, once I receive those back from the editor, those will be forwarded to the publisher, and I will make sure any customer that wants a second edition of any of the books, and they email me, I'll get them a copy. I'll get them a digital copy, or I'll get them a physical copy. If they have the physical book, I'll get you a copy of the physical book, because I want people that are reading my books, I want them to have everything that's available. And if they bought early editions, and there's a reason for that. I went into other videos. I'm not going to go into it here, but there's a reason for the. So, some people have asked, well, why did, book 1, book 2, book 3, you weren't done proofreading, you weren't done editing? And I'm like, no, because my HGA, because Spirit guided me and said, publish them now, and I was reluctant I didn't like the idea at all, and but I went ahead at the behest of Spirit, and I went ahead and published those. That's the short, basically the gist of the short story of it. One of the things I want to put in this video, it's going to be a shorter video, I'm getting ready to upload a Leo Celtic Cross reading. I'm getting ready to put up some tarot readings with the Thoth Tarot, but before I do this Leo reading, I wanted to just mention, I started doing these books, writing these books back in 2019, really writing in 2019. And the earlier part of the year, I put together an expansion on the angelic language, on the vocabulary. And it was later in 2019, probably about summer, that I was guided to do the first book. And at that time, I thought it was only going to be one book. It turns out it's just an entire series of books. So I write about the Enochian language. I write inculcations, invocations, banishings, and an entire, a gnosis of Gnostic Luciferianism based around this language. But even I, am continually in using the language and doing ritual and divination and using the language, ritual and divination day in and day out. Even I find more nuance to the use of the language, to the speaking of the language. I see more patterns in the structure of the language. And there's patterns within the language that are tied to sacred geometry. And to map the ties of the Enochian language to those patterns, those intricate patterns of the divine design and the emanations that are have the sacred geometry, and to correlate that and to map that would be, I don't know if it's necessary. I mean, working with my HGA for so long, I'm just going to say that, in my opinion, the answer would be no, that to map out such a thing would not be necessary for all practical purposes. Interesting, possibly, but at a certain point, not possible as well. It would, from this point of view, from the human limited incarnation point of view, quite difficult to map out all of that. But at first, it could map out quite a bit of it. And I may try to touch upon that in the book 4, which I'm getting ready to start on update for book 4. And once these updates are done and they're sent off to the editor, that's it. I mean, there will be no, third edition. These books are going to be pretty much set in stone. That's why I'm getting the final updates and the final additions and add-ins and going through and spell checking, and I'm really trying to crank these out to get them ready, because they're all 6 manuscripts are going to the editor once. And and it's one big payment, and I mean, and they're being fair about it. They give me a fair price. They give me a fair price. They quoted me a fair price. Since I'm doing more than one, I'm doing 6 books. They actually quoted me a really fair price, and the work they do is top notch. And I'm excited to get these additions to the books, and so you're talking about just the first 3 books. Just the first 3 books of the series are going to be over 530 pages of occult text. Just the first 3 books. And then book 4 and book 5, they're going to get significant additions. Book 4 probably get 10 pages at least. Book 5 probably get 15, 20 pages. Because I want to expand the introduction. I want to add to the throne matrix energy concept, and at the end of the very last section of book 5. So right there, that's a dozen pages. That's a dozen pages that I would like to. So at least 20 plus pages for books 4 and 5. So, and with the first 3 books being at 530 pages now, and I'm still not done with book 3 here. The updates to book 3. I have the last portion. To probably another couple of pages to put in here. I've got notes. So I got all these notes, stacks of notes, and I've got, pieces and notes and recommendations and and structure. I mean, basically, I'm checking them off and adding them in and doing some writing, doing some editing and adjusting. It's a process, and I've been working every single night. Here's the thing: for the last week and a half or longer, 10 days. For the last 10 days, I have worked every night, all through the night, from dark till daylight. And it's usually, you'd think, I'm just drinking coffee, that I would get tired. But it seems to be the more I work on these through the night, once the 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock hour comes, I'm still just full of this drive. But during the day, absolutely not. I won't touch, and I never have. As long as I've been writing, I've never been one to do a lot of writing. I maybe on a rainy day do some writing, but when it's bright and sunny out, I just want to rest and enjoy that sun and be outside and so on. But writing for me has always been a evening and through the night affair. I love affair with the night. I love affair with writing, a passion project, done in the dark, so on and so forth. One of the last thing I want to touch on here is, being that I write about the Enochian language, I write about pronunciation, the use of the language. Even I have an evolving sense of the nuances to pronouncing certain words. And I want to mention one of the more important and significant words in angelic magic in the Enochian language is the word for harvest, the angelic word for harvest, which refers to a culmination of the events at the end of this age of man, and the harvest that occurs at the end of the age. And it's also referenced in the Bible too, as the Great Tribulation. Carried out by the harvest king, the dreadful judge, who is also called by this word, and the word is Gebafal. It's been pronounced Gebafal, and then with the absent character phonetic, I've long pronounced it Gebafale. But there is a more pure, proper enunciation of that name, of that word, and that's Gebafale. Gebafale is a pure pronunciation. I've been saying Gebafale. It's just a way of handling that vowel, really. But Gebafale is harvest, and that is up to this point. And so for 2 years, I've been saying it close. And that's the thing with this language. The more you use it, the more you're involved with it, the more it reveals itself to you. The more you become intimate with it, and it kind of grows. And Spirit is very patient. Spirit is very patient, and if there's certain words in a series, and an inculcation, an invocation, there's certain words that maybe, it still has effectiveness. Even D. Kelly, someone I'm close to, asked me, well, D. and Kelly didn't include this absent character phonetic that you introduced in your books, and well, does that mean they were speaking it wrong? And I told them no. They had the letters and the glyphs, and they had the characters of the alphabet correct. They had the arrangement in the words, and the words were written in with their proper meaning correct, and the sequence correct, and they were speaking in the pronunciation of the characters, the consonants, and the vowels. These were correct. The one thing they didn't ask, and they weren't told, and I was told that it wasn't time for them to be told. It wasn't time for it to be revealed. Was this absent character phonetic? So if you have a word like ADO, king, Ado, it's Adoe, 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 and kingdom, ADOHI. In the old way, in the D and Kelly way, it would be Adohi, Adohi, but it's Adohie, Adohie, Adoe, Adoe, Adohie, Adohie, Gebafale. But it's like I described it as almost like Coke, Diet Coke. So you have Diet Coke first, And then you have full flavor Coke, still Coke, or you have Diet Pepsi, and it becomes Pepsi. You know, it's full flavor Pepsi. It's a refinement, and it is an addition, and it has to do with the time that we're in and how close we are to this time of harvest that is approaching. And I write about that in the books. I write about the Harvest King, King of Princes. And the word Gebafal is also not just a word for harvest, it is a term that refers to the Harvest King, the dreadful judge, the light bringer, the Logos incarnate. If you checked out this video, I appreciate it. It seems to me a lot of the people that have subscribed to the channel really like me speaking about the Enochian language. They like me speaking about the books. So I'm right now doing the updates for the book 3. And like I said, email CALDWELLMARK279 @gmail, and contact me and say, hey, I bought your print version, I got your downloaded the Kindle version, so on. And then it's like, okay, well, we will make sure that you get an update, because I want the people that have supported me in this endeavor, in this project, to have the entirety of what's available in these books. And to go from the page count and the content at the first 3 books, now the first 3 books are 530 pages. 530 pages in the first 3 books. There's a lot in them. And I've still got, like I said, I gotta edit and spell check and go through this. And then there's just a bit more to add in the book 3 here. So it's going to be about 531 pages, at least 531 pages for the first 3 books alone. And then book 4, book 5, they're going to get, like I said, they're going to get at least 20 pages added to those books. And book 6 will probably, I'm going to expand on the sigil magic. I'm going to go a little bit deeper into sigil magic. And add some images. I want to add some JPEGs to that manuscript as well. So thank you for subscribing. If you watch this video, thank you. There's a community here, and if you will, go over to Seldom Dreams and check out the blogs I've written. I'm the singer writer at Seldom Dreams, and and there's other writers over there too. There's 3 or 4 of us that write, but I'm a singer writer over there. And go check out those blogs. There's some pretty good articles over there, and I really appreciate that. And as always, my divinity into yours. Namaste.